Hey guys, today we're going to be learning a card trick called Here Then There. It's a really simple yet amazing card trick you can do. It was popularised by David Blaine in his Magic TV specials, and it's now used by many street magicians as it's such a great effect. Let's take a look at the performance, then we'll get into the tutorial. So we're going to need a selection for this effect. Let's say the 5 of hearts. What we'll take the 5 and we'll just place it round about middle of the pack, just like that. And for the first step of this effect, just so the snap of the fingers, that 5 will actually jump to the top. What happens next is we'll take the 5, we'll put it down there, and this time I'm going to pick a card. So I'll just take the Jack of Spades. What I do with the Jack of Spades, you see, is I take it and I just give a wave over your 5 of hearts. And just like that, it switches places. So now I have the 5 of hearts, and you actually have the Jack of Spades. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Let's get into it. Okay, so before we actually get into how to do the effect, let's just go through what we need. We actually need 2 duplicate cards, and by that I mean 2 cards that are exactly the same, so exactly the same on the face and the back. And what you want to do, you want to place your 2 duplicate cards on top of the deck face down, just like that. After you've done this, you're ready to begin. Okay, so we want a card selected first. Let's say the 5 of Spades. Now, you want the 5 of Spades to be in second position, so sandwiched between the 2 duplicate cards, and so it looks like that. So there's 2 methods to get it into this second position. I'm going to teach both. One is called the Marlowe tilt. I'll just go over that briefly. I will have a separate video on this move because it is a move of its own. It's used in many card tricks. I'll just go over it quickly. You get a break under the top duplicate card, like that, and then you're going to poke about behind the deck and poke about by these middle cards. And what you should find is, if you poke them, some cards will jut out at the front. When the cards jut out at the front, you want to take your left index finger and pull down on some of the cards and say, we'll put the card into the middle. As you do this, you bend the card into the gap between the top card and the second card. So you're actually inserting it into second position, like that. And you keep this break with the pinky. And this creates a depth illusion. So they think you're putting it in the middle. And you slide it in and square up. So what it looks like you've done is put it straight in the middle, because when those cards came out of the middle and you pulled them down, it's actually looking like you're sliding the card where those cards have come out. They don't realise you're sliding it into second position. So that's a quick overview of that move. If you want more detail, I will have a separate tutorial on that coming out soon. So after you've executed the Marlowe tilt, what you want to do is get a break under the top 2 cards and then say, I'm going to snap my fingers and the card's going to jump to the top. So you snap your fingers, then you do a double lift to show that their selection is now on top of the deck. When actually it's second, but you've done a double lift. So that's what I did in the first stage of my performance. If you want to do the second method of getting this card into second position, then you're actually not going to need to have that first stage of the effect where the card jumps to the top. Okay, so the second method of getting the card into second position is that while they're having their card selected, while they're looking at the card and remembering it, you're just going to use that misdirection just to take the top card, which is a duplicate card, and just flip it over like that. So now it's face up, and then you rotate your hand palm down so they can't see that. So I'll just go over that again. While they're having their card remembered by everyone, you can use that misdirection, just take the top card, flip it over, and turn your left hand palm down so they can't see it. What you're then going to do is take their selection back and slide it on top of the deck, face up, like that. So now it just looks like you've slid their card on, and the spectator thinks the card is like that. So their card is just on top of the deck with nothing underneath it. In reality, you've slid it on top of their jack, which is also face up. So now if you were to flip these cards over as a double lift, this card would be in second position. So you see, if you don't do the Marlowe tilt, if you do this method, you don't actually need the card to jump to the top as it's already there in their eyes. Okay, so once you're in this position with the 5 of spades and the duplicate card flipped over as a double lift, you're going to display this card and then flip it back over. Now the spectator thinks that when you hand them this card, they're getting the 5 of spades. This is not true, they're getting the duplicate jack of spades. So you place that in their hands, on the ground, on the table, whatever. It's best to do it in their hands as it makes a stronger effect. Also it stops them looking at it if you can get everyone to cover it with their hands. So if you get 3 or 4 people involved all covering the card with their hands, no one can actually look at this card and realise that's not the selection. So once you've handed them the selection, which is actually the duplicate card, you're left in this position with their selection followed by the duplicate card on top of the deck. The next step is to say you're going to pick a card yourself. At this stage you do another double lift and show that you're going to pick the jack of spades. This is a duplicate card. Obviously the other jack of spades is over here. They don't know that, they think this is the 5 of spades. So then you display what card you have picked and do another double lift and then take the card that was above that card off the deck. So they think this is actually the jack of spades when actually it's the selection. This stage you can cut the deck, pass it off to one side or whatever. The effect is essentially done. All you want to do is create some kind of magical move and then reveal that the jack of spades has switched places with the 5 of spades in their hands, which is a really strong effect as they think you've actually taken the card out of their hands while it was in between them. Okay, so a quick summary of the effect. You start with 2 duplicate cards on top of the pack, and then you get them to select a card. So let's say the 5 of spades. You then do either a Marlowe tilt to get the card into second position, like so, and then say the card is jumped to the top. Or if you don't want to do this method, you can simply, while they're remembering the card, flip over the top card and slide their card on top of the deck. You're then left in this position. After you've done this, double lift the 5 of spades, then hand them the apparent selection, which is actually the duplicate card. Then say you're going to pick a card yourself, so double lift to show the duplicate card again, double lift again, take the card that was above that card, wave it over the card, and they switch places. Okay guys, that's the end of this tutorial. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, favourite, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you later.